This is only the beginning of another news week, and I'm here to get you ready for the week ahead. Today is Monday, November 21st, and there's no real news stories today, but tomorrow Australian Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe is set to speak. Following that, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand is releasing new interest rate numbers, and we expect them to be raised 75 basis points. Wednesday is a PMI free-for-all as French, German, UK, and US PMI numbers will be announced. FOMC meeting minutes for the US also come out on Wednesday. Thursday is a national holiday in the US, and depending on who you ask, so is Friday.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's a short news week, but be sure to stay tuned because I'll keep you updated on all things Forex related. Now, let's go ahead and check out the EdgeFinder. All right, everybody, here we are in the EdgeFinder, starting off like normal, taking a look at the score chart summary. And what I'm noticing, first off, is that the New Zealand dollar is still holding a lot of weight at the moment. We can see NZD JPY, NZD CHF, and NZD CAD up here towards our buys. Bullish momentum for NZD here. And then, of course, down here, we're seeing the inverse Euro NZD, Aussie NZD, GBP NZD giving off strong sells. So that's still very bullish for the New Zealand dollar because we are selling off these pairs and we are buying the New Zealand dollar against these currencies. Sorry, I meant selling these currencies compared to New Zealand, buying New Zealand against these currencies. So New Zealand dollar holding a lot of weight, very bullish. I did just do a New Zealand dollar breakdown in my previous video that was released on Saturday, top buy, top sell. I went over 3 New Zealand dollar pairs, so please go check that out if you want a little bit of extra New Zealand dollar breakdown. But we do have NZD interest rates coming out tomorrow night. So it is probably worth taking a look at a New Zealand dollar pair. However, I do know that in the United States, those NZD interest rate numbers do not come out until 7 p.m. So perhaps I'll save the New Zealand dollar pair for tomorrow. I will take a look at a New Zealand dollar pair tomorrow, right ahead of new interest rate numbers. And today I will save maybe a US pair. Let's look at the US pairs. So major currency pairs. We have one buy, one sell, whole lot of neutral. Remember, the US dollar was on a crazy bullish run for a few weeks, probably about 3 weeks. Things have really leveled off since then. So maybe a US dollar pair. CHF JPY is also catching my eye just because it's up here towards the buys. If you look at the sells, oil is a sell, Euro USD, Euro CHF are sells, but not strong sells like these NZD pairs. So let's go with a buy. Let's go with CHF JPY as our breakdown today. And you know what, just for fun, why don't we check out the market heat map as well? Black Friday is finally here, and that means that we're rolling out new products and brand new updates to the EdgeFinder. We have our new looking gold page, as well as our newest feature, the Fed tracker, that predicts interest rate forecasts as well as inflation forecasts, and has things like US dollar impact, stock market impact, and gold impact. So you have more data than ever before when it comes to your trading. We hope that you guys enjoy the update, and if you want the EdgeFinder for yourself, you can use code A1YT for a massive 40% discount this month only, just so we can check and see how some of these currency pairs have moved over the last couple of days, or not a couple of days, from yesterday to today. So the market heat map is our biggest movers from yesterday to today. How much have they moved in just a 24-hour time frame? So USD JPY is our biggest major currency pair. We have our US pairs here. USD JPY is our biggest mover to the upside today, coming in at 0.93% higher than it was yesterday, while Aussie US is our biggest mover to the downside, coming in at minus 0.84% from yesterday. Major indices not performing so well. S&P 500 minus 0.3% down, or minus 0.3% down from yesterday, while US 30 and JP 225 are coming in slightly higher than they did yesterday at 0.6% and 0.16%. We can see some other pairs here. USD ZAR is actually our very biggest mover. We don't have it listed with our major currencies because USD ZAR is not as commonly traded as these other ones here. But USD ZAR is actually coming out at 0.93% higher than it was yesterday. Seeing some Canadian dollar pairs here. NZD, and then if we move to the downside, gold coming in a lot lower, Aussie US like we just mentioned, and oil is selling off hard, apparently coming in at almost 5% lower than it was yesterday. All right, but with that, let's go ahead and get into CHF-JPY, which had a score of +4, and we're actually seeing a lot of blue here, but our trend reading is reading red, so that's interesting. So we'll get into that in just a second. So COT data coming out at a neutral score 0, and we can see both the yen and the Swiss franc are actually heavily favored on the short side, but because they're both so heavily favored on the short side, it's not really leaning one way or the other. That's giving us a neutral score here. 74.67% short for the yen and 89.37% short for the Swiss franc. Retail sentiment is agreeing. Retail traders are 79% short as a whole on the pair, and that is giving us a +1 buy score here. Because we have it broken up by individual currencies here, when the COT data is lining up completely with both currency pairs, we're giving it a neutral score. If this were leaning long side for the yen or long side with the Swiss franc, while the other one was leaning short side, then we would score it a +1 or -1 respectively, depending on which way it was leaning. But because both pairs are lined up together, we give it the neutral score. But on retail, we only track the pair as a whole, what retail traders are buying and selling, and because they are selling at the moment, we are giving this a +1 buy score. Seasonality has a +1 score as well, and we can see here that in the month of November, our all-time average and last 5-year average, well, our last 5-year average is sitting pretty much right on our neutral line right here. Our all-time average is slightly higher than that, sitting close to our current year average. But we can see moving into December that both all-time and last 5-year tends to trend upwards. Our current year average has not been doing that, however. It has been trending downwards, while historically speaking, this pair has trended upwards in the later months of the year. So it doesn't seem like it's going to follow the historical trend moving into December, although we could potentially see that happen. Again, we are looking fundamentally very bullish, but we are trending downwards at the moment. Our trend reading is a score of -2, and looking at the daily chart, it seems like there's just been a lot of retesting here. We came in low in these days here, had a little bit of retest, up, back down, back up, back down, and our price forecast is predicting this to continue a downward move going forward. However, fundamentally speaking, we can see GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates all have scores of +1. And what that means is the Swiss franc is coming out better than the Japanese yen in all 4 of these metrics that we score here. So we can see Japan GDP growth sits at -0.3%, whereas Swiss GDP growth sits at 0.3%. Japanese unemployment is up to 2.6%, whereas Swiss unemployment sits at only 1.9%. Japanese inflation is 3.7% compared to Swiss 3%. And lastly, interest rates are -0.1% in Japan compared to 0.5% for the Swiss. Now we're going to watch some analysis featuring TraderNick from today's live stream.
I've got a trade open, NZD-JPY. It's looking like I might get stopped out here, even on camera, which will be fun. I've got NZD-JPY on the long side. I picked this up on Friday. Some of you guys might have seen it on the stream. I picked it up on stream or shortly after stream last week and caught a little bit of a runner here, but market turning around here today, at least so far. So if that happens, if we break through this support level, which we're very, very close, I'm going to go ahead and take my my profit on this trade. And in fact, it looks like it's about to do that. So we'll sit around and see if that happens. It's trying to hold it. We'll see if we can hold support. But again, market's going to do what market wants to do. So yeah, I'm sitting around seeing if we can hold this level. If this level breaks again, I'll be out of the trade for a stop loss of $809 profit. So I have a stop loss on my trade, but it's in profit. So in the scenario that this thing doesn't want to hold this support level, then we'll be out of here. So yeah. Okay, I know the second I move off my NZD-JPY trade, it's going to stop out. Oh yeah, here it goes. Come on. Hit it. Hit the stop loss. Come on. Got to be stopped out right here. If it tags that line, we'll be out of the trade, which would be cool. It's fine with me. So this move actually, by the way, this move to the upside was not actually New Zealand dollar strength nearly as much as it actually was the Japanese yen. So the Japanese yen, super weak today. Take a look at the market heat map with me, and we can see that the dollar yen is the top rated. So this is the market heat map, just lets us look at which things are moving the most. And you can actually see that the yen is our weakest currency, dollar yen moving up tremendously. You also have Aussie dollar down a lot today, pound dollar, euro dollar, NZD USD. It seems like a big bullish day for the dollar here so far. And so there we go. We are out of the trade. Just hit that stop loss just as we turn back to the screen. So out of that trade, about an $800 profit. So yeah, so we're out of NZD JPY. So profit taken. So there we go. And I liked this trade. I mean, it wasn't the best trade, of course. I would have loved for this thing to continue higher, but it actually, look at this. It tagged above the highs. So looked really bullish and then just completely fell apart under support. So starting out the stream with a trade closing for profit. So we'll take that. Good start to the week. Nothing major in terms of a profit. We'll make an $800 profit on that trade. That's all good. And let's take a look at this dollar here. So the dollar, look at this. So dollar on the 4-hour chart had a big pop to the upside here starting out the week, broke through resistance pretty convincingly. Big pop to the upside, right? It does look like it's pulling back a little bit here, but dollar trying to deeper retrace. But I will say this, you have to be cautious with this dollar move because, again, the dollar has been putting in lower highs. It's been pretty weak in terms of in terms of sellers coming in here. I mean, this big impulsive move, it does look like it wants to squeeze a bit higher. Maybe that 50% retracement could be inbound. So the dollar has a little bit of room here. And in my opinion, we could still see this continue just a bit further. Question is the dollar bullish on the EdgeFinder? Let's go look. Dollar CAD is, Aussie CAD. The EdgeFinder does not like the Canadian dollar right now. Yep, because that's also tied in with oil. Oil looking very weak. We talked about that last week. So oil still one to watch. I still have my US 30 trade. Actually, let's check. Do I still have my US 30 trade? Let's go check. Yep, still in DIA, which is the US 30, currently long. So let's actually go look at that. We'll go look at the chart here. US 30, currently still long. Tried to pop higher here on the open of the New York session, or the New York Stock Exchange opened up just a few minutes ago. Big pop to the upside there. Look at that. And then erase that. So what I'm looking for with the US 30, by the way, for those of you guys who are inside of the VIP group, if you're watching my trades, I shared this last week. I'm still just in it. It's just gone sideways for a little bit, so I'm not doing too much with it. But what I would like to see before I start trailing stops, I want to see this thing break higher. So if we break above on US 30, I'll be looking to try and trail stops further and continue this this run up. So step one would be if we can close above this area, like if we get one of these candles this week, which would be really nice. If we get something like that, stop loss for me will roll to profit probably around here. So that's how I'm looking to play that on US 30. If we continue to trail higher from there, then we'll have to look for another higher low to trail further. But currently floating a little bit of profit on my US 30 idea, and we'll see if that one continues to play out. Going back to the EdgeFinder, so we won't spend too much time on that one. That's a trade I'm in. NZD JPY still getting a buy rating, so that might be one to still watch for a possible retracement. In fact, let's go look. If I was to re-enter NZD JPY, what would it look like? Let's see. Let's try this out. Probably around the 38.2. So if I'm looking for a re-entry on my NZD-JPY trade, it looks like it'd probably be around where I got in initially. So if we get a deeper retracement here, I'm still down to try picking it up long again, 38.2, something like that. Try and see if we can clear the highs again on this pair. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I didn't like the reversal, and that's a big rejection candle that we saw. So we may just be headed back down to retest support at that 38.2. That previous resistance could be something to watch out for. Looking for continuation moves.
Make sure you guys check out the links in the description if you need broker recommendations, access to our free Discord, or want to chat with us on Telegram. If you're interested in our trading software, the EdgeFinder, you can find that in the description as well. Thanks for watching.